wealthier shoppers flocking to Walmart as inflation bites. Now, most rich people used to frown upon Walmart. They used to turn their nose up at people that go to Walmart. They rather go to places like Target and other stores like that. But now, because the economy is the way it is, even they are struggling paying for things. So even they are going to places like Walmart. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Now, when you hit that alarm bell, you can change it from personal to all. That way, you get all the notifications from when I'm putting out stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out even more news. All right, let's talk about this news. Walmart recently announced better than expected third quarter sales growth. This may seem like great economic news until you realize the reason behind the retailer's big jump in sales. As it turns out, wealthier shoppers are flocking to Walmart to make ends meet as rising prices squeeze pocketbooks. In its earnings report, Walmart said it is making, quote, strong grocery share gains, including from high income households. Quote, customers who came to us less frequently in the past are now shopping with us more often, including high income customers, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said on a Tuesday call with investors and analysts. Why are more affluent people shopping at Walmart? In a recent podcast, Peter Schiff said it was out of necessity. He said it's because they can't afford to shop at the more expensive, fancier markets that they used to go to because prices are up so much. In order to put food on their tables, they're having to trade down and buy cheaper stuff at Walmart. Walmart also reported strong growth in its private brand sales. A sign shoppers are abandoning more expensive name brands and turning to lower price generic alternatives. According to CNN, other discount supermarkets, along with Dollar General, reported gaining new wealthier customers trying to manage budgets during these inflationary times. And again, this is what happened when you vote Democrat policies. This is what you get. When you vote Biden, this is what you get. While the CPI came in lower than expected in October, food prices continued to rise. The price of food at home increased by 0.6% on month on month. Food at restaurants was up 0.9% on the month. Annualized food prices were up nearly 11% in October. Pundits and analysts like to look at core inflation, stripping out more volatile food and energy prices to gauge inflation because customers don't have that luxury. They can't just cut food out of their budgets, and Americans are struggling to cope. A lot of people are struggling to cope. Increased spending on food is forcing customers to cut in other areas. Walmart's third quarter report hints at this, while grocery sales increased in the mid-teens last quarter. The company reported, quote, softness in discretionary categories, including electronics, home, and apparel. So people are just staying to the necessities. I see it a lot, too, in my practice. A lot of clients just can't afford therapy. So to some people, they consider it, a luxury, and they have to pay for necessities like food and things of that nature. They're not purchasing stuff like electronics and things like that. They're holding on to their clothes a lot longer than they normally would. It's people are down to necessities right now, and wages are rising, but they aren't keeping up with prices. On an annual basis, real average hourly earnings decreased by 3% from September 2021 to September 2022, a seasonal adjustment. It was the 18th consecutive month of declining real wages on an annual basis. And of course, you don't hear any of this from Biden. All he says is that unemployment is down and all this other stuff and this bullcrap because they're not really looking at it macroly. Look at what's going on macroly. Tight budgets aren't just altering shopping behavior. It's also forcing people to dig deeper and deeper into debt. Household debt increased at the fastest pace in 15 years during Q3 as American consumers ran up their MasterCards and Visas month after month. Credit card balances surged by 15% year on year in Q3, increased by 38 billion dollars between July and September. That was the biggest annual increase in credit card debt in more than 2 decades. Rising credit card debt coupled with increased mortgage costs push overall household debt higher. It's bad. Economists and pundits talk about inflation as an economic exercise. They rarely reflect on the fact that rising prices have real impacts on real people. It's affecting so many people. And again, I'm seeing a lot in my practice. A lot of people are struggling financially. After months of rising prices, even wealthy Americans are feeling the pain. You know it's bad when rich people are struggling. And if you happen to be somebody living on a fixed income or savings, you're really screwed as inflation is rapidly eating away your purchasing power and your income streams aren't increasing at all. Inflation always causes the most pain for the poor and the elderly. So my question is, how come these people are still voting the way they are voting and expecting a different outcome? You know the adage, and you know what Einstein said about the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's exactly what's going on. They keep voting Democrat. They keep voting for these idiots like Biden and expect a different result. But we're living in it now. We're bearing the fruit of those people votes now. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.